Okay, let's talk about Canelo Alvarez, and I think he has a problem, but I also feel that he probably doesn't care. Canelo Alvarez has been stripped off his IBF title. You not want to know why? Because he doesn't want to fight the IBF mandatory, who is William Skull. Anyway, but that's not the biggest problem that I see with Canelo Alvarez because the most recently, and including myself, and I'm a big fan of Canelo, I'm a little bit frustrated with the choices of opponent. Well, actually, the Berlanga fight, which is going to happen on September 14th, we don't really have a choice because he's the WBA mandatory. But I really wanted to see him against Benavides, and it does look like he doesn't care, and that's why he has this big problem now.
Powcast Sports. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell.
Canelo Alvarez may be and arguably the best boxer, active boxer from Mexico right now. So I guess whoever is fighting, people in Mexico are still gonna watch. Just likewise with Manny Pacquiao, whoever is fighting, the Filipino people always watch him, and I think that will be the case now for the fight of Canelo versus Berlanga. I have no doubts that people are still gonna watch this. Casual fan, Canelo fans in Mexico and all over the world. I personally gonna watch this. But he has been getting a lot of criticism among the hardcore boxing industry and the community because it isn't really the fight that we wanted to see. And obviously, we know we want to see him fight Benavides. I know there's a rumor about him fighting Terrence Crawford as well next, but that's not gonna happen because Terrence Crawford is fighting someone else. Um, Here's the thing. This is the problem when boxing is obviously business, and there's a lot of moving parts. Like for example, in this one, I don't know because IBF has a mandatory, WBA has a mandatory, WBC has a mandatory. I think IBF got pissed off, and it's been a while since they've been asking for IBF to fight their mandatory. But I would also understand. I mean, among the mandatory opponent of Canelo Alvarez, who is the most lucrative? There's of course Benavides, there's Berlanga, Skal, and Pacheco. Who are those guys except for Berlanga? So, I guess Berlanga is the next best choice, but um, no longer the undisputed fighter is Canelo Alvarez. But at this point of the career of Canelo Alvarez, it doesn't matter if he has a belt or not. I remember back then when Pacquiao was also stripped of his belts. But as of this stage of the career of the Canelo Alvarez, it's safe to say that Canelo Alvarez makes the belt, not the belt makes the fighter or Canelo Alvarez, because Canelo Alvarez has established himself already as one of the best boxers in the world. But so I would understand why he doesn't care anymore of the belt, and he doesn't care about who is the what the hardcore fans of the boxing community wants, because I mean he's established, he's defeated the best of the best, and obviously as a fan like myself, like yourself, we're always wanting to see great fights or great challenge. So it really depends on the boxers on the kind of legacy that they wanted to achieve moving forward. So maybe Canelo is satisfied, or but there's also one thing that I felt that is the case. I think Canelo Alvarez just doesn't like working with David Benavides because of the real bad blood. Yeah, let me know if that's true. If you have other news on that one. By the way, on September 14, as you can see here, it's live on the Zone, and it's a PBC championship. There's also a Prime Video. So the thing is, September 14 is also the date of UFC 306. So there's potentially a problem because I think Sugar Shea O'Malley is fighting on the UFC 306. And UFC is also targeting the Mexican audience, and these events happens at the same time. So they're gonna split the Mexican crowd. So I wonder what's gonna happen there. I'm sure most definitely the pay per view and the audience are gonna be split up. So this is the another case of boxing versus MMA event, and I think it's happening in the T-Mobile Arena. So I'm not sure where the UFC is happening, where UFC 306 is happening, but it's definitely going to be a potential problem business-wise for either. So I was wondering why. I mean, this has been the case for a while, boxing and MMA events at the same time, but these are the two of the biggest boxing and MMA events at the same time. So you gotta have to make a choice. Which one are you watching? So I mean, that's just for me. I think Canelo Alvarez should eventually fight David Benavides, although I think David Benavides has already accepted the fact that it's probably not going to happen.